My name is Kent Rowe, and I just want to share my life story with you guys. I was born here in Fort St. John, BC. Spent a very short time here, like 6 months while I was a baby. My parents moved me away, and we ended up spending the majority of my time in Prince George and Grand Prairie. I got 3 siblings, all boys, brothers. My mom is a Christian. My dad was not. He was an alcoholic, so therefore he wasn't the best father. He put me through a lot of verbal, physical abuse, and my mom tried her best to protect me, but it just never happened. So, because she couldn't do much about him. He was a powerful man, and that's just the way he was. He was raised the same way, so he didn't know how to raise children. So therefore, that's how, his dad was towards him. So he knew no better. My mom tried to take me to church as much as possible, get me into youth groups, young kids clubs, and everything else, and I just wanted nothing of it. So while life went on, my mom's family were a believing family. Her dad was a pastor. My dad's family was not. So, when we lived in Grand Prairie, there was times where my dad's nephew came over and babysat us, and it was very awkward. We had to hide secrets. We had to hide secrets because my dad was abusive, verbally and physically, and then all of a sudden we had to hide secrets because my cousin was sexually assaulting me at a young age, very young age. I don't even remember how old, like 7, 6, I don't know. But, so therefore, as I grew up, these secrets just kept on being secrets and darker, and my life just didn't want nothing to do with men, didn't respect men very much, and became disrespectful to men. So as my life went along, I was 13, and my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and within 6 months, like 4 to 6 months, he was dead because of cancer. Within that time, he made a difference. He changed his life. He got cleaned up, really changed his life around. But the sicker he got, it was just, And like 3 weeks before he passed away, he asked for our forgiveness, and I forgave him for what he did, told him I loved him. And because he became a believer. And so now he's up in heaven and having a good time. So that's good. But after that, I just kept my secrets in. So instead of turning to the Lord, I didn't really want nothing of it. I was 13-year-old, and I turned to his booze cabinet instead. At 13, I started drinking all this booze, sneaking it on the bus on the way to school and stuff, 8 a.m. in the morning, and had a taste of vodka, and then I got the first buzz on, and I just loved it ever since. So I ended up drinking. I was playing hockey at the time. It's my passion. Loved playing hockey. Very gifted at it, and could have went in ways, but instead I just hung out with the wrong kids, got in with the wrong crowd. So my mom had to pull us away from Grand Prairie. She needed help raising us anyway, so she brought us back to Fort St. John, BC, and there I just continued with my hockey career by getting in with the wrong crowd, and I started getting violent and mean, and I loved fighting, just loved it. I got bullied when I first got up here. I just didn't have nothing to do with it. Me and my family did, because we were the new kids in town. So my world was very dark, and then my friends introduced me to marijuana, and from there on I just got more and more into partying with boozing, and then smoking dope. That's around 15 or 16, and as I got older, I just kept on stooping lower and lower. I ended up quit playing hockey and dropped out of school, and I continued, and I got a job in the oil patch. So now I was doing good. I was making good money, racking it in, and but then I just found a whole different level. I could afford that much more drugs and booze, and more friends, because I could buy my friends drugs and booze, and yeah, I just rather please them instead of just really seek out my own life and see what was actually going on. I was blinded to it. So, yeah, I was in the patch for, well, I don't even want to know, like 4 or 5 years. And I remember one time at breakup, I just got out of camp. I made $7,000 cash take home. My boss went on holidays for a week, 10 days, and when he got back, I needed advance. So, and all that went to cocaine and beer, pretty much, alcohol, hard alcohol. So I partied hard. I wasn't very, like, I was having a good time, didn't realize anything of it. So continued on. I was like, I think I was like 21 at that time. Worked with this guy for another year. Oh no, sorry, I was 22. Worked with him another year. And yeah, we were partying one summer, and I remember taking this pill with my buddy because he didn't want to do it by himself. And I was high for 3 days straight. Don't remember a thing. But then we both got called out. We were working together, so we both got called out in the same job. He was running a picker and I was running a wireline truck with my boss. And we get to the shop and we're ready to go to work. And on the way out, we got probably like, I don't know, 5 miles out of town. My boss is like, "Can you drive?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not licensed to drive." He goes, "Well, I'm too drunk to drive." And I wasn't brave enough to tell him that I was still too stoned to drive. So I said, "Yeah, sure, I can drive." So we were driving down the road and the tire popped and we ended up rolling our line truck. And my elbow went through the windshield. It took over 150 stitches to put my forearm and my elbow back together. I hurt my back, my knee bad. And my boss ended up breaking his back, shoulder and neck, because he was sleeping in the back. So there we are again with more secrets that just kept on getting pushed back and not dealt with properly, and guilt and shame in my part that was eating me up inside. And I just started doing more drugs. I was doing more cocaine and drinking more booze because I didn't know what else to do. Like, it was just my lifestyle at the time, and that's just how I wanted to deal with it, I guess. So 2 weeks later, me and my friends were partying, and on the way from the docks to the gravel pit, we were driving around, and he was speeding, and we ended up rolling his pickup. So I was in 2 rollovers, and God spared me from those 2 rollovers. And then realization and blind to it, I still didn't see the fact that He's sparing me for a reason. I just kept living my own lifestyle, so I had to put that behind me and lie about that too as well. Because we managed to get the truck back on its wheels, and the guy just drove it off back to town. So at that time, I just started to, like, I needed to make extra income because I wanted to. So I started dealing drugs with the guy that I worked with. We were like dealing drugs together, making a good income on that. And then, but all of a sudden that comes with a lot of like hardships and stuff. I didn't remember what I was doing when I got drunk. And it's just about, I don't know, a year or something, like the cops were looking for me. And yeah, it was either go to jail, get cleaned up, go to jail, or go to rehab. And that's what it took enough for God to spare me from going to jail, because I didn't want to go to jail because I was 140 pounds, very small guy for my height. So it scared me enough that I ran away and went to rehab and got cleaned up. But before I went to rehab, I made a commitment, because I seen a counselor before I went named Ernie Reimer, and he got me on track. I repented, and this was a week before I went down there. He's the one that told me to go to Miracle Valley Mission. It's just outside of Mission, BC. So it was a Salvation Army one, Christian-based one. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to turn my faith around, get strong in my faith. I knew that that's what needed to happen to keep myself in sobriety, or whatever you want to call it. But just God's strength. I needed His strength to help me overcome my demons. So I couldn't do it on my own. So I saw him then I just went down and saw my grandpa. He was a pastor in one of the churches up here. We prayed again, and then I just disappeared. Like, nobody knew. I just got up and left. Like, so, my friends were all looking for me. My family didn't say nothing. Nobody said anything. They just sort of, we took off. I took off down to Vancouver, Mission area. Got cleaned up down there. Spent 3 months in a rehab facility down there. Really turned my Bible around, focused on my Bible reading instead of my steps or whatever. Like, God gave me such clearance of what I needed to do, because I actually didn't really finish the 12 steps. I only got to number 8 or something. I just didn't like the book, so I just put it away. I guess I didn't need it anymore. So I turned to my Bible, which is far better than anything else anyways, because it's the Word, and that's what heals and strengthens you. And so in the meantime, when I was down there, there was tons of good opportunities to meet men, just like to get their stories. It was a great eye-opener for my age, because I was 23 when I got there. When I was coming out, I was 24. It was just before my 24th birthday, so yeah, so I met a lot of cool people, helped me out, and got cleaned up. I came back home, and I don't know how it happened, but my mom ran into people, and they were giving me some more clean time. They asked my mom if I could go out to Bible camp with them, out to one of the local Bible camps called Blueberry Ministry Center for the summer, to give me more clean time. So I said yes. Had a meeting with the director, and I wanted to really come out there. So they took me under their wing, and they gave me some more clean time. I met my wife there the first time. She wanted nothing to do with me because I looked like a criminal. She was scared to talk to me, but that's okay. It just wasn't happening then. I sort of looked like one anyway, but with a shaved head, so it's all good. That's fine. So I went there for a year, hung out with everybody, got to meet some more friends, meet some Christian people, and I guess it wasn't done yet, because they asked me if I wanted to go down to the camp that they didn't want to take for another month for some more clean time away from 4th of John. So I thought that would be a good idea. So I went down there too. And yeah, it was just a really good time, really good opportunity to meet people, and yeah, strengthen my relationship with God. So all that happened. Then I came back and I went to work. I just became a mechanic, started pulling wrenches, mechanicking. So I mechanicked for a couple years, and then yeah, a couple years, and then I went back. I just felt like I wanted to just keep going into ministry, so I would like work during the winter and then pretty much go do camps in the summer. And then yeah, and then finally my wife decided to talk to me, and that was the best thing in my life, because we started dating and we really took our time into it, and got to get to know each other a little bit, and yeah, so we dated for a year, we got married, and we still just did the same thing pretty much. We just wanted to do camp work in the summer, and one time we actually quit our jobs to become missionaries outside of SCA, but at that time we just had a hard time getting funds together. It just seemed like it wasn't the right time. It wasn't God's timing, because I wasn't mature enough. I wasn't mature enough in my faith and my leadership skills, so therefore I just didn't know what direction to go with it. But I just feel now like I just felt like it was good, because I put myself more solid in reading my Bible and then my studies. But then we decided to start a family. So like, even when you think it gets easier as a Christian, it doesn't. It actually gets harder, because now you're battling sin, and then you're trying to deal with it properly. But then you and your wife want to start a family, and then all of a sudden you decide to have a family and have kids, and then you see your wife go three miscarriages, and you're like right there, and it's really hard because you were excited, but at that time it's just another time saying like it wasn't God's timing for me to be a parent yet. And I see that now, and I reflect back on it, and I'm grateful, because eventually we did have kids. We had Shale, and then we lost one more, and then now I got 2 more kids, Katie and Caleb. Shale's 8, Kadia's 6, and Caleb's 3. But they're just the best thing in my life, next to my wife, because it just helped me mature more. I just remember holding Shale, and when I held Shale, it's like just knew, like God revealed to me, like your responsibilities are going that much higher, because now I've trusted you to lead these little ones into a godly family, and now we do our best to raise them up godly, like with family worship or whatever it takes, just to let them see the all desire of our hearts and the Word, and just being there, loving one another, being there for one another. Yeah, it's just been a magnificent thing. Love every second of it. Love having a family. Love the leadership part of it. It's getting me more and more like Christ, which is awesome, and keeps me more and more studies. It keeps keeping me on my toes. So, yeah. So Caleb's 3, and then I just felt the whole time, like, what is it where you want me? And in high school, I should have shared this earlier, but sorry. When I have connection with the native people in Fort St. John, and I really feel I'm called to go out there and help them, because I've grown up playing hockey with them, schooling, and we rodeoed together, and there was that bond. And during this pandemic, we sort of lost contact because of my addiction, and then I thought I burnt bridges, and I was embarrassed to go back. I was shamed. But one day I was just praying and sitting on my couch, and just felt like just reach out and see what they say. So I reached out, and it was such a great interaction. Like, they were like, you're like our brother. We don't ever lose you. So it was good to hear that reply back, because it built my confidence back up, and they want me to come out and see them. Like, I talked to one person from each reserve, and out of Halfway, Blueberry, and Doig, and I just felt the joy in my heart, and it just and the desire in my heart, and I just knew where I wanted to serve. And ever since I've gone to rehab, I've always wanted to get into counseling somehow, or helping people. It's been my heart's desire to. Because of the slowdown, it's giving me a chance. I'm doing a counseling course right now, a biblical counseling course right now, just to learn how to understand people, and reading lots of stuff on missions, and I just feel like I'm getting drawn more and more to that. Like, my studies right now is like, it's saturated with Paul. I don't even know my favorite book or anything. I don't have one, but just the life of Paul as I'm working through Acts, and then different parts of my life is just always lining up to his letters. I just know if my time is now, I need to get out and go. I feel called, and I just don't want to hold back. So I'm just grateful for Christ and his work in me, and now I don't want to hold this stuff in. I want to use it to further his glory and his kingdom, and tell people about his gospel, and go and seek the lost wherever that may be, and help the Indonesia's people learn about Christ. It's going to be a wonderful time. I have a feeling that it's going to be great. So, yeah, that's my story. Thank you for your time, and yeah, can't wait to see you guys face to face on that chat or whatever, phone call. So